"I'd never date a janitor," said the CEO, until the single dad reached a place no one ever could, P1. Emma Lewis had it all, or at least that's what the world believed. At just 33, she was the CEO of one of New York's fastest-growing tech companies. Every morning, she stepped out of her sleek black car in her designer heels, head held high, her life seemingly perfect. But beneath that confident exterior was a heart that had long been shielded from love. Years of betrayal and broken promises had taught her one rule she swore never to break: never let anyone close who couldn't meet her standards. Especially not someone like a janitor. David Miller, on the other hand, never dreamed of rubbing shoulders with CEOs. His life revolved around two things: his daughter Lily, and doing whatever it took to give her a better future. The 36-year-old single father worked double shifts, days in construction, nights cleaning office buildings, including Emma's towering headquarters. He never complained. The calloused hands and aching back were worth every moment when Lily smiled and said, "I love you, Daddy." One rainy Tuesday evening, long after most employees had left, David was mopping the marble floor outside Emma's office. Inside, the CEO sat at her desk, face buried in her hands, the glow of her laptop casting tired shadows across her face. Normally, David stayed invisible. People like Emma rarely noticed people like him. But tonight, as he passed by, he caught the faintest sound, a quiet sob. He paused, unsure if he should keep moving or knock. Something inside him, maybe the part of him that knew pain too well, made him softly say, "Are you okay, ma'am?" Emma glanced up sharply, instinctively hiding her vulnerability. CEOs weren't supposed to break. But something about David's gentle tone, free of judgment, chipped away at her walls. "Just a rough day," she whispered. David nodded, setting aside his mop. "Sometimes," he said quietly, "the world feels too heavy to carry alone." Then he went back to his work, leaving her with words that lingered far longer than they should have. Over the next few weeks, their paths crossed more often. At first, Emma barely spoke, but slowly, she found herself looking forward to those brief midnight conversations. David had a way of making even the hardest days seem lighter, always speaking with kindness, never asking for anything in return. One evening, as David left early, Emma noticed something strange: a faded math workbook sitting in his cleaning cart. She asked about it, and he hesitated before admitting it was for his daughter. "Lily's 9, he said, his eyes softening. "She's brilliant, but I can't afford tutors. So, I teach her myself every night, even when I'm dead tired." That night, for the first time, Emma looked at David not as the janitor, but as a father, a man giving everything he had for someone he loved. A week later, fate threw them together again, but this time, the roles were reversed. Emma had been working late when a phone call shattered her world. Lily had collapsed during school, and David couldn't afford the surgery she needed. Desperate, he'd run from hospital to hospital seeking help, but doors kept closing. By the time he reached Emma's office, his face was streaked with tears, his hands shaking. "I'm sorry," he choked out, "but you know people. Please, help me save my little girl." Without hesitation, Emma grabbed her coat and keys. She didn't think about titles, reputations, or rules anymore. She only saw a father on the verge of losing the most precious thing in his life. She called in every favor, emptied her own account, and refused to leave until Lily was safely out of surgery. Hours later, David sat by his daughter's hospital bed, holding her tiny hand. When Emma stepped in, he stood, speechless, tears streaming down his face. "Why would you do this for us?" he whispered. Emma's eyes glistened. "Because no child should lose a parent's love, and no father should fight this battle alone." From that day forward, everything changed. Emma spent more time with Lily, often joining their late-night math lessons. She saw the warmth in David's soul, the kind of wealth no amount of money could buy, the wealth of kindness, sacrifice, and love. Months later, a reporter asked Emma about her rumored relationship with the janitor. She smiled, glancing at David and Lily beside her, their hands intertwined. "I once said I'd never date a janitor," Emma replied softly. "But this man, he reached a place in my heart no one else ever could." Sometimes, love doesn't come wrapped in the package you expect, it comes in the form of someone who sees you, saves you, and teaches you what really matters. And for the first time in years, Emma Lewis felt truly rich, not because of her empire, but because of the family love had given her.